Man, we're gearing up for a big season finale. What's going on, YouTube? Welcome to We Sibs, West Coast, East Coast siblings, where we talk about your favorite movies and TV shows. Today, we're talking episode 9 of Cursed on Netflix, starring Katherine Langford. We're going to break down everything you need to know from this episode that is definitely gearing up for a big finish. Before we get started, hit that subscribe button and click the bell so you don't miss a single episode. Let's get into it. Okay, guys, so starting off with big takeaway number 1, it's got to be the looming threat of Morgana. Her power set, we're not really sure which way she's leaning, whether she's going to take the information she has to defeat Nimue, get rid of Nimue, and become that sorceress supreme, or whether she's going to use her powers, whatever they may be, to help Nimue and try and fight fate, as the Widow has already said that Nimue is going to die. Now, in this episode, she shows some interest in the carcass of this dog. I don't know what that's really about. I know that this is the tower where the dead man is in the bell tower, so there seems to be this whole decay aspect. Even the Widow herself, as we saw her face, is decayed. It's not a full skeleton. It's not completely skeleton. There's some rotting bits to her. So I don't know what this all entails. Could it be some similarity? Is she going to take on a likeness like the Widow? This is definitely something we need to watch for, as Morgan Le Fay could literally dictate the fate of all the characters by the end of this season. Getting into big takeaway number 2, guys, Uther Pendragon kills his mother. Now, this dude's always been a brat, always trying to prove himself in some way, shape, or form. He finally gets fed up with his mother and decides to poison her with wine. She is the only one who can say that Uther Pendragon is not the legitimate and rightful heir to the throne. As we all know, King Cumber is making a claim that he is the legitimate heir, and that seems to be the truth. And so Uther gets rid of his mother, pretty much getting rid of the last loose end that could get in the way of him claiming the throne. Besides Cumber, who's obviously the biggest challenge to the throne, so you didn't really get rid of your issues. Uther's dumb anyway. Moving on. Takeaway number 3, guys. We have the fact that Nim is now struggling with ruling 2 separate peoples in Grimere, that she took over, established herself as queen, and now her people, Fae people, are killing civilians. Now, one of the people got brutally murdered. There seemed to have been a misunderstanding because of the 2 different languages they were speaking, but the human guy ended up dead. And so as punishment, she cuts off his hands. And yeah, you can call that a deterrent, but I really do think it's only a matter of time before even more fights end up happening. As Arthur's father said, this is not going to last long. Nimue needs to make up her mind and do what she's going to do before things get completely out of hand and you end up with a war inside Grimere, and the Red Paladins and King Cumber's men don't even have to do anything. Some other little things to look out for. Squirrel has gotten captured, so now Gawain and Squirrel are both at the mercy of the Red Paladins, and it seems that Squirrel did not let anyone know that he was going on a rescue mission to save the Green Knight. Therefore, no one is coming to get them, or for that matter, even aware that they need help. So Grey Wolf is kind of the only person. Maybe he could do a last minute, betraying of the Red Paladins. I don't see that happening, but it could happen. Another tidbit, Nimue and Arthur finally have their romantic connection, we'll call it that. Yeah, so this kind of ties up one of the storylines that they had been playing at pretty much since the pair met. So now there are solid foundations and real feelings. I mean, Nimue's already prophesied to die, so there's definitely going to be some heartbreak happening, but who knows, they could flip it around and maybe Arthur could sacrifice himself for Nimue and she could end up not dying. Only time will tell. Also, we're introduced to this character, Abbot Wicklow. I had to read that to get the name right. So he seems to be sent from the Pope himself, and we'll see how all that plays out, as now the higher ups are seeing an interest in getting Nimue killed and the Sword of Power. Final little tidbit you want to keep an eye out for. The Red Paladins have just made a deal with the King of the North, King Cumber, in order to kill Nimue. So remember, King Cumber made a deal with Merlin that he wouldn't touch Nimue, or that Nimue could live as his prisoner. But now he's doubling back on that, playing under the table with the Red Paladins so that they can get her killed. So while not a lot too major happened in this episode, there were a bunch of little things that I think helped set up the final episode nicely. It seemed a little rushed, but I'd rather them do that than to have a whole bunch of things not set up and then just end the series. So that's going to do it for what you need to know from episode 9 of Cursed on Netflix, starring Katherine Langford. Be sure to hit the subscribe button and click the bell, as I'm sure you don't want to miss this season finale. Stay tuned. Thank you guys so much for watching. Follow our sister channel, The Lotta Quinte Ledger. We've got some great content coming over there very, very soon. So thank you guys so much for watching again, and I will see you in the next one.